Hi, my name is Hayden Andersen. I'm a master's student in civil engineering at UC Davis. I'm here at the G Street closure in downtown Davis. During the 2020 pandemic, many businesses, especially restaurants, struggled for lack of clients because their doors were closed. Many cities during this time decided to implement a commercial street closure like this one to encourage business activity. By closing the street to cars and allowing it to be open to pedestrians, the businesses were allowed to put tables and merchandise out in the street that allowed pedestrians to come and shop and dine at an appropriate social distance. My master's thesis focuses on how these street closures affected the businesses themselves. How did these businesses respond when cars weren't allowed to drive right up to their store? So to start, I made a big map of every program in the country. There were over 100 of these. And next I used Google Maps to index every business that was along each of these streets. I recognized over 35,000 businesses, and I was able to interview and survey a sample of 20,000 of them. From these interviews and surveys, I learned a lot about how these streets affected business owners and employees and clients, and I found some really interesting results. The reviews are mixed, to be honest. Street closures like this are the most popular among restaurants, who were allowed to put out tables in the street and sometimes double or triple their seating capacity. On the other hand, many retailers complained to me about the fact that people couldn't drive to their store anymore, and people couldn't find their business, and they reported revenue losses. But there were also many other retailers who told me differently. They said that as more people came to dine in the street, it created a synergistic effect that allowed more people to shop as well. So one of the main difference makers for these streets was also, no surprise, a high level of supply of off-street parking. Making sure that people can park nearby and walk to the stores was really important. I also heard complaints about ADA compliance and the mobility of disabled persons, so being sure to accommodate those was also very important. So many of these street closures were only closed for a few months during the summer, and some of them remained throughout the entire winter. This street closure in Davis has been closed since June of 2020, and there's talks of making it permanent. Finally, I found that cities who were more involved in the street closure, who communicated openly to businesses about their plans to close the street, were more likely to have support from the local businesses. So of the 100 street programs that I identified, around 30 of them have remained closed to this day, like this one in Davis. This is a sign that city planners and government officials are starting to rethink the way that they use street space in downtown areas. My research has shown that while these street closures have brought mixed feelings, if implemented correctly, they can provide a boost to local business and beautiful pedestrian areas for people to use.